I was just talking about pre-build doubts, you guys. I was talking about that feeling you have when you're going through your build plan in your head and you haven't started and you've never built one. This is important. This is the important part. You've never built one. You've never played with the cob, and you're reading all this stuff. And this stemmed, I'll just recap what I already said. This stemmed from an email I got, and actually many, many emails. They happen all the time. But, emails I get where people are saying, I'm really uncertain about this stage of the build. I don't know what I'm going to do when I get to this point. I don't know how this goes together. Usually things that are far down the road in the build. And so, you're welcome, Mark. Thanks for appreciating it. It's funny. It shouldn't be so frustrating, but it just absolutely throws me. I'm kind of nervous when I do these things. I get a little nervous pre-show, and there's all kinds of stuff to do, and then they throw that at me, and I just I panic. So appreciate you guys' support. So at any rate, the pre-build doubts are a very real thing, and I want to talk about it because I want everyone to know that it happens to all of us. I remember it vividly in my first build. Belgian Gulch says it's overwhelming. It's absolutely overwhelming, and that's why we're here. That's why I'm here now. That's why Belgian Gulch and Tall Shadow are there on Permies helping all you folks out, and so many of us are here to help share this information, to encourage people to just dive in and start, because the pre-build doubts are crippling. And so I really want to bring up a few things about those pre-build doubts for the people who are in that mode, and just give you some confidence and help you move forward. First and foremost, there's no way for you to grasp how it's all going to go together from the start to the end with a clear vision of every detail. I don't think that's realistic, and I actually don't think that it's valuable to try and do that, because you will need to react to changing situations, material changes, size changes, shape changes. Things are going to change as you go through your build, despite your plans. You may be really close, but there's going to be some things that throw you for a loop, and so it's best to understand that as you approach certain details that were problematic for you in the thinking and the planning process, as you approach them, you will have a lot of time moving forward as you're building for them to sort of spend some time getting sorted out in your brain as you start to work through the build. So my feeling is that while you want to have most of your details fairly well nailed down and you have a pretty good idea of how it's all going to go together, do not agonize over the last little details, the nth degree. Get yourself a pretty good plan. I think I'm going to use cob and burlap over this section. I think I'm going to put screws to hold these hinges in. Just kind of get your general plan and then just start moving forward. And as you go, you will gain experience. You might not have attacked that part of the project yet, but you'll have far more experience with the brick and the cob and all that stuff. So let's just get started, move forward, and that's going to do a lot to your confidence and help you start to see those pieces of the puzzle that you can't see because they're around the corner and you just can't see that far ahead. Now, second, and part and parcel of that same thing, but almost more importantly, is that if you've never worked with the materials, you will have questions in your mind that really can't be answered by someone else. We can tell you how it's going to work, but really you're just unsure. And so really what I really encourage everyone to do is to just get outside before you even start your build, before you start your real detailed planning. If you've never played with cob or mortar, mud in that sense, mix it up. Get outside, make some, stack some bricks, start playing with it. Start making shapes, trying to patch holes. The reality is that the stuff is really forgiving. And once you get your hands dirty, you're going to be, so many of your questions are going to just leave. You will not be wondering how it's going to go together anymore. And so it's a funny thing to just say, well, don't worry, just move forward. But with these rocket stove builds, we are all, usually engaging in stuff that we have no prior experience with. I came to it with no experience with cob when I first started, and I was really concerned about how it was going to go together. As soon as I started working with it, it was like, oh, I get it. So it's just really an encouragement to say this is new territory for you, but don't be scared. They're all very simple techniques and processes. Dive in, get your hands wet, get your hands dirty. Start building your stove. Don't be afraid. It's going to be a process of trial and error.